everybody, it's Disney Queen Skelly like I promised. I am currently in my PJs because after this video, I'm going to bed. So, I had promised you guys that I was going to do some fun facts, and, since Halloween is just around the corner and Disneyland has started up their, Mickey Mouse Haunt Trick-or-Treat thing, I figured I would kind of give some fun facts about the Haunted Mansion. I'm going to start out with the ride and not the movie since the ride did come first. So this is from the D23 official Disney fan club site. I'll give you guys a link in the description below so you can see where I'm getting my facts from. So this is going to be kind of a short video, just me reading off some facts, and then maybe if I can I might give my opinion every so often if I see something that I personally know about it or something. So, let's get started. Fun fact number 1. The Haunted Mansion is the only attraction located in 4 different lands in 4 different Disney parks. These parks are New Orleans Square at Disneyland, Liberty Square at Walt Disney World, Fantasyland in Tokyo Disneyland, and Frontierland at Disneyland Paris. What I find really interesting is that New Orleans Square in Disneyland is actually, it's like if you go into Frontierland, it just kind of merges into New Orleans Square. It's a great merge. It's like completely natural, and that's why I like that it's in Frontierland and Disneyland Paris, because it's like they're kind of recreating how they're transitioning at Disneyland Resort. So, 2. Eddie Murphy had been looking to do a ghostly comedy in the vein of Bob Hope and Abbott and Costello. I think that's the guys who were like, oh, who's on first? I'm asking you who's on first, if I got that right. When he learned about Disney's Haunted Mansion film and asked to see the script. So, essentially, Eddie Murphy was like, he wanted to do this because of, I guess, because of Bob Hope and Abbott and Costello. So, 3. Imagineer and Disney legend Claude Coates briefly developed a water ride version of the Haunted Mansion in which guests would float through the ruins of an old plantation house partially submerged in a Louisiana bay. Kind of sounds like a Pirates of the Caribbean thing, really, but spookier. A live caretaker character is featured in almost every draft of the Haunted Mansion film script, but was ultimately cut in favor of a ghostly cameo appearance in the graveyard, complete with the cowardly canine companion. So, if you guys don't know what they're talking about, maybe if you haven't been to a Disneyland park, if you, after you go through the attic, there is a graveyard scene, which is like the concluding scene of the ride itself, but not the concluding part. There's a man holding a lantern, and there's a little dog next to him who looks like he hasn't eaten in days, and they just look terrified. Imagineers produced the audio animatronics figures, props, and set pieces for both the Disneyland and Walt Disney World versions of the Haunted Mansion at the same time, knowing that the Florida attraction would open less than 2 years after its Anaheim predecessor. So, yeah, that's pretty interesting that they didn't open them up at the same time, really. The Disneyland Haunted Mansion was largely inspired by the Shipley Lydecker House in Baltimore, Maryland, pictured in Decorative Art of Victoria's Era, a book found in the Walt Disney Imagineering Information Research Center in Glendale, California. Legendary creature designer Rick Baker originally modeled the Haunted Mansion film's singing busts after Mark Davis, Thurl Ravenscroft, Blaine Gibson, Paul Frees, and even Walt Disney himself. Only the Frees and Ravenscroft busts made it into the film. It's cool because they do have the singing busts, like head statues in the film, and it's pretty cool. Paul Frees, the voice of the ghost host, also provides voice for Ludwig von Drack, Boris Badenov, the Pillsbury Doughboy, and many of the Pirates of the Caribbean, including the famous auctioneer. So, the ghost host, if y'all don't know who that is, in the ride, the second you walk into the mansion, there is a voice that goes over the intercom, and it's a pretty spooky voice. He tells you what to expect, gives you a little narration throughout the elevator, and then kind of narrates your ride, which is really, really cool. Also gives you safety tips for the ride itself. So. Early drafts of the Haunted Mansion film script were set in upstate New York, with a manor house inspired by the Walt Disney World attraction director Robert Minkoff, and production John Muir felt the movie should feature a mansion inspired by the Disneyland original and move the otherworldly attraction to New Orleans. I guess this is kind of a mix of movie and mansion, but I'm trying to do mostly mansion and then transfer to movie in part 2. Imagineer Leota Toombs, Madame Leota's face and namesake, rehearsed her incantations on the night of her daughter and future Imagineer Kim Urban's school dance, prompting Kim's surprise date to ask, "Wow, what's up with your mom?" That'd be pretty cool. I'd pride my mom in that, honestly. An ill-fated bride was featured in almost every proposed version of the Disneyland Haunted Mansion, dating back to the Imagineer Ken Anderson's very first creative treatment in 1957. Ex Atencio's tongue-in-cheek epitaph, pardon my reading, epitaph eulogizing Master Gracey, a nod to Imagineer and Master of Illusion Yale Gracey, has led both fans and cast members to consider him the true, if unofficial, Lord of the Manor. The Haunted Mansion movie crew decided to honor the tradition and dubbed the master of their house Gracey too. Last one. The Haunted Mansion's infamous eye wallpaper, long credited to Imagineer Mark Davis, was actually a collaboration between Museum of the Weird creator Raleigh Crump and Claude Coates. And that is your 13 fun facts about the Haunted Mansion. Like I said, I only did the mansion for right now. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing the movie, and then right afterwards I'm going to be discussing the Haunted Mansion via Nightmare Before Christmas, and then the movie, The Nightmare Before Christmas. So, what I'm most likely going to do with the Nightmare Before Christmas Haunted Mansion, if I can't find any fun facts, I'm going to be talking about it myself because I consider myself one of the biggest fans of Nightmare Before Christmas, as if you can't see my Jack poster right behind me. That's a story for another time, really. I might upload that at some point. I have a video, and then I'm probably going to give a brief explanation about the video. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. I love you guys.